All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Let's get started. Let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Just to confirm, so are you all seeing the screen with the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thanks for joining. It's a great evening, Saturday evening. We still have a lot of things to do, but still you decided to join this session, and I must really say thank you. And this session is about a public speaking series, and the guest speaker here is Kavin Karthikeyan, and the topic is how to balance between academics and sports in the most amazing 3 years of school life. So it's school, but that's really the amazing period in the school life. And Kavin is going to talk more about the transition from elementary to middle, and then middle to high in his school career. And let me go to the agenda. All right, so we're going to start with the welcome address and housekeeping, and then Kavin will do a presentation, and then at the end there will be a Q&A session for all the students and parents to interact with Kavin and ask questions, and if you want to know more details, we can talk about it. And then vote of thanks. Since Anu is not here, I was asking some students, and Murugan, we volunteered to do the vote of thanks. Thanks, Murugan, and looking forward to that. And let's get started.
Mr. Bandana, I can reduce the volume. 4+1.
So let's get started. So as usual, we start with a quote. And yes, success is not just what we accomplish in our life. It's about how we inspire others to do it. And this session is a best example for sharing the success story and sharing how you succeeded and the journey that you've gone through, and how difficult it is to manage your academics and then sports in your life, and how to manage the time. There's so much going on when you involve in academics and also in sports, right? So it's not simple to just focus on one thing. So that's going to be the key part of this session. So I think let's get started with this quote. And then one of the key goals of the STYLE program is to explore and provide opportunities for our students to be better leaders, right? So public speaking is one of the key leadership aspect, and we are creating opportunities in STYLE for our students to come forward and participate in various STYLE initiatives, and that includes be a volunteer in various volunteering opportunities, and come up with a topic and do a session like this, and then do a public speaking on that, and then come up with some that could be anything, right? So we also did topics in science and technology and many other learning opportunities. So this session is one of the public speaking session, and so one of the key challenges for our students is they sometimes either too much focused on academics, or sometimes they too much focused on sports or games, and some kids are too much focused on just video games. And it's really an art to strike a right balance between your academics and your sports and games, or your entertainment and so many other passion that you are pursuing. And we take a great pleasure in introducing Kevin to this to be the guest speaker in this session. And Kevin Karthikeyan is a freshman in Beckman High School, Tustin Unified School District, and he's a California state level athlete. and at the same time a presidential awardee. That's a that you might all be knowing how hard it is to get these two accolades in our profile, right? And he attended multiple state level, county level, city level championships in Tustin Youth Track Meet, OC Track and Field Championship, and also he attended US athletic track meets and amateur athletic union meets, and he's very passionate about outdoor activities. And track and field is his core strength, and engineering, gaming, and programming are definitely his passion and hobbies. And also Kavin is our SoCal Tamil Kalvi student for the last 6 years. He's going to be graduating this year. And we take great pleasure in welcoming Kavin Karthikeyan to this session. And thanks for your time, Kavin, for doing a lot of efforts to come up with sharing what other kids in your age or younger than you or elder than you, to collaborate more, to spread the inspiration. Thanks, Kavin. And let me pass on the slides and let me stop sharing. And the floor is yours, Kavin.
Yeah, thanks, Uncle, for giving us wonderful opportunity to share my experiences and hopefully motivate other students to excel in what they believe that they can do. So we'll start by presenting this. Yes. 1 second. It's yeah, here it is. So, like Uncle mentioned before, this is gonna be an interactive session. It's gonna be mostly based on your inputs, and all I'm here to do is to share my experiences and what I did, or something stuff I would like to share during my 3 years of exciting middle school. So we start off with transition from elementary to middle school. And this is a key difference, because in elementary school, you're used to having only one teacher and multiple subjects inside that one teacher. That one teacher is the only teacher that teaches you everything. But in middle school, that'll all change, because you'll have separate teachers for each subject, which will completely change your perspective on learning through a teacher. So the first thing that separates for elementary from middle school is the expectations. These three things are the most important, because they all revolve around you and how you, and these three things, if you're able to follow these three things over the course of 3 years, you'll be well and set to go. So the first thing is time management. Time management is really important, because you're not only going to have classwork, which is going to be given by your teachers, but it's also going to be there's also going to be separate homework. So you don't want to put that, don't want to you want to have a balance between both of them, so you won't have much homework when you get home, and you have time to spend things for your purposes. And you need an increase in self-responsibility, which means your parents, or you need to be the one who drives your actions. You need to be the one who asks the questions, who continues to build yourself, and you're the one who needs to keep contact with the teacher and ask her questions when you need. Your parents shouldn't be doing that, and that will really differentiate you between each student, because the teacher will recognize you for your ability to ask questions and all the other things. And lastly, persistence. Persistence is one of the most biggest concepts that you must do in middle school, because there's always going to be a time. Not all times are going to be as favored for you. It's not always going to be, oh, I'm going to pass this test, or I'm going to be the best in the class. It's not always going to be like that. But that doesn't mean you can lose your confidence and not keep trying. You have to keep trying and keep building yourself so that you motivate yourself and you keep achieving. Next, I want to talk about GATE and honors. You guys might be familiar with GATE as an elementary student, and it's a pretty good thing if you get into GATE, and it really helps you. But I must tell you that GATE and honors are not separate things. They're both intertwined. So what it is that if you're in GATE, you have a higher chance of getting into these honor classes and all those things. But with a result of that, there's also going to be higher expectations placed on you. For example, if the teacher tells you, if she gives an assignment and she'll usually give it to the whole class. So honors and non-honors are not separated. So meaning that in middle school, you'll be clubbed with not only just like honor students, you'll be also clubbed with normal students and people who do like different things. But what the teacher would expect from you is something higher, something different from from all the other students, like higher vocabulary or something different that you have that you can express and show. This applies for both English and math and whatever honors courses you can take in middle school. This also, like I mentioned before, will help with advancements, which means when next year, if you apply for an honors course and they see you've been in GATE, yes, they will. There's a higher chance you'll get into honors, and there's a higher chance you'll get that teacher recommendation to get into honors. So, and it also helps your chance for other like next year's, like there's like you say you want to take you don't want to take 6th grade honors math in 6th grade, and you feel like you're really advanced in math, you want to go to 7th grade honors math or 7th grade advanced math when you're in 6th grade. What will help you is GATE. Like if the teacher sees that you're in GATE, and then there's also another booster to sell, oh look, I have the capability to achieve this, I have the capability to enhance. So it automatically like boosts your abilities and your chances to getting into an honors course. And next, I want to talk about accomplishments in middle school. But before that, I want to give you a friendly reminder that if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me, and please stop me if I'm going a little too fast. So now we're going to talk about the accomplishments in middle school and what I did or like what I was able to do in the course of 3 years in middle school. So first, I want to talk about athletic interest. Athletic interest is not always gonna be, oh, you have to pick your sport by 6th grade. Oh, I need to be a great sport. That's the purpose of middle school. The purpose of middle school is to get you, because that's like the goal of the PE teachers in middle school. Every single PE teacher in middle school, they will let you play multiple sports. They'll let you be in multiple places, so you can see which one you can do. So so just like that, you're not only, what's most important is that you're not just supposed to be based upon school and what the PE teachers give you. You also have to pique your interest over, like, it can maybe be over the summer or over the break. You can take your own, go into a summer program or go into like some summer camp for a sport, or any of those things will also help you. But the most important detail here is that you need to pick a sport. It's not a need, but it's a good trait to have a like an idea of what sports you're going into by the end of 8th grade, so that when you go into high school, it'll help you. It'll be beneficial for other things. So then I want to continue my topic to my athletic interest and what piqued me. So I starting in 5th grade. I liked running. I started by like doing like marathons and all those things. But after like a few months of like doing those things, I felt like my strength was in shorter distance, running fast, like feeling the air on my face, like when I'm moving fast, and the pressure and the competition between the guy in front of you and all those things. So that motivated me to go into my first ever track meet, which I did in sixth grade during March. Around spring break, around that time, I did my first meet. It was called a Tustin Youth Track Meet. Though that track meet is for all comers. So you can be a professional, you can be an amateur, you can even be a person who just started track. And I was a person who just started track. So I did it, and I saw like multiple people on other levels, other like people who ran like long distance, but I was more into like the short distance, the competitive like speed running, like jumping and all those things. Then I qualified into the SCMAF Orange County track meet, or it's the county meet, which so multiple cities join into that track meet, and through that track meet I qualified in top 3, and I went into the California State Games, and in the California State Games I put my effort, and I came in top 10 of the California State Games for my division, for my age group. Then after California State Games, I started putting my attention into the 2 major organizations that host the track meet. One's called USATF and one's called AAU. USATF is called, the full form is United States of America Track and Field Organization, and AAU stands for Amateur Athletic Union. These two organizations are the 2 main organizations that host like at the beginning, like the all-comers meets, all the way to like the national and regional meets, which are the highest ones. So I continued, and I kept doing USATF meets, and I did A meets and B meets and all those meets, and eventually I qualified all the way into the Junior Olympic qualifiers. So this Junior Olympics was the highest I reached, and it was the Junior Olympics qualifiers that taught. When I reached that level, I understood that it's not about beating the person in front of you. It was not about like running faster. It was about going against the time, the clock, yourself. You need after that I started looking, oh, did I become better than last week? Oh, was I better than the week before that? That also applied to my, like, after like I did track and I understood that, I started applying that into academics. And I started doing, okay, what did I learn something new from last week? Oh, did I learn something new from last month? Okay, what did I developed so far? So I continued, and that eventually I got into the Junior Olympic qualifiers, but that's when I couldn't proceed longer because the competition was really heavy, and it was all over the state of people from all the way from Northern California all the way to San Diego. Everybody, that meet was like just crowded, and it was so much people and so much competition, but I had a fun time. So going into specifics, the season of track starts from January, where all like the all-comers meets, the basic meets, all those come, all the way into May. May is when the highest meets, the regional meets, the national meets, all the like the Junior Olympic meets, all those meets are hosted. So as you can see, these are so far these are the medals I've won. Towards the ends, you can see like the end, those were more of like all comers meets. Those were competing against high school students, middle school students, and then towards the right you can see towards the left you can see the all comers meets, and towards the left you can see all the medals that I won in my age group. Those were all gold medals. At the end, the ones that look like badges, those were all gold medals. And towards the right, you can see like those medals and all those things. That's it for this slide. But let me remind you guys, if you're interested in track and you have any specific questions on how to get into a team, which if you want to go into like USATF and AAU meet, you must register as a team. And the team I qualified for is called a club or team is called Rise and Fly. That was the team I registered for. And if you have any particular questions on how to get in, or what types of events could suit you, or how to get in, right? All those things. Well, you can contact me personally, and you can contact me personally in the Q&A, or integrate me in the Q&A session at the end of this. So next, I want to talk about the Student of the Month Awards. This award was given, like as the title states, this is only given once a month, and it's for people who excel in a class. So it's only picked by like a few teachers and staff, particularly teachers. It's mostly teachers who pick. It's like there's some staff members who pick, but I got picked by the principal for my athletic performance. Because this, when I got selected, this corresponded with me getting into the Junior Olympics, and like it corresponded with going into the Junior Olympics and getting into like the Junior Olympic qualifiers. But other people, some of my friends have got it for math abilities and science Olympiad students and all like other things. Like you just have to excel in your class and do your best, and don't do it. So like the main thing when you're getting an award is you don't do it for the recognition. You do it for yourself. You do it for what you think you're going to do, what you're going to accomplish. It's all about you, not about the teacher who's going to give you the award. If you do it for that, you're only going to get it once, and you're not going to get it like again and again. Like so you have to like proceed and do it for yourself. Do it to who you are. Be loyal to like yourself, and don't do it just because like someone else like you just want to get the award. Right? Next, I want to talk about the principal golden honor roll and the silver honor roll. These two awards are for students who maintain a certain GPA or an overall grade for the year. So I got so for students who earn all A's throughout the semester, they get the principal honor roll, which is a 4.0 GPA. I do not particularly know about every school, but in Pioneer Middle School, we get usually like a big party, and there's like a big party for people who maintained all A's for that whole semester, which is like half the school year. So then there's a silver honor roll, which is for people anywhere from 3.0 GPA to 4.0 GPA. So if for people who get like 4.0, it's a golden, and for anyone who did, that's a silver. So these honor rolls are what based I got these for 6 semesters. I got the golden honor roll for 6 semesters, and so in 3 years there's 2 semesters each year. So I got 6, which will help. And also these golden honor rolls and silver honor rolls will also help with the academic clubs. So academic clubs are there, each of them, they vary between school, but for my school, for Pioneer Middle School, there was Science Olympiad and the Academic Olympics. So those 2 clubs in my school, they were the most major. And Science Olympiad was the advanced science. It was like they taught more advanced science. And so what helped me get into Science Olympiad was was principal honor roll. By the time I applied for Science Olympiad, I had 4 principal honor rolls, and that helps. And this also helped with your other clubs, because when you're applying for other clubs, because you're always there's always going to be like some sort of application process, some like Google form or maybe even like written form or something. And there, one of the questions, guaranteed questions, are how are you going to manage your manage between academics and pleasure? And when you show that you can manage school and have all A's like all the time, then you'll understand, oh, okay, so so he or she's going, okay, so he can manage school very well, so we can trust him with this. So it'll help you with like future clubs and all those things. It'll also help you with like when you get into those clubs, when you get into like science Olympiad, those will help you in high school and like getting into like more advanced courses, right? So it's all like it's a domino effect. What you do in the beginning gets you into another thing, and it gets you into another thing, right? So then next I want to talk about my the second language advancement. This is I know is in every school. The language might differ, like the language you can advance in might differ, but the second language advancement is always there in every middle school. You just have to ask your counselor. So what I did was I picked another language. In my case, it was Spanish. There were other options like French and German, but I picked Spanish because that's the one I was able to understand the easiest, and I liked it as well. So what I did was I took it for 2 years in middle school, and it reduced the 3 years I had to take in high school for another language to 2, which eventually will benefit you in high school, because you can, when you go into like 11th grade and 12th grade, you can pick courses or subjects that interest you the most, and you don't have to like, oh, I have to do Spanish homework, or you don't have to do that. You can go, okay, I did it in middle school, and now I only need to do it for 2 years in high school, and I can pick more favorite courses later. So that's why I took 2 years in middle school, 2 years of Spanish, 7th and 8th grade. And this eventually reduced my my 3 years of high school of a second language I had to take to 2 years, which benefits me because I want to take, in the future, I want to take more courses related to engineering and math, which will help my like future self, right? So not to mention, in IUSD, there's a SoCal Tamil Kalvi is giving language credit for Tamil. Uncle, what's the update on the language credit for Tamil?
As far as I know, it's approved by UST, the high school credit program, in only nearby in school district. So SoCal Tamil Org is working with other districts to roll out in other schools.
That's really nice to hear, because in the future, which is you guys, you can apply and put language credit as Tamil, and that will really help you, because you don't have to go to high school and take another language. You say, okay, I'm good at Tamil, and the counselor will be like, okay, very nice, right?
Kavin,
And it's also
Kavin, hold on.
Yeah.
Kavin, just to clarify, Tamil is not going to replace your second language.
Yeah.
You have to still study the second language in high school. Tamil is like additional credits you get. If you have that completed so-called Tamil, then it's like a private institution is eligible for 10 credits in high school. That is what you do regularly in high school plus 10 credits. So it will not replace that. Don't misunderstand.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Thanks for clarifying.
Sorry for the misunderstanding, but
it's okay.
yeah, 10 credits is like a lot of credits when it comes to like language credits, right?
Yes.
So
it's additional effort, and it will help you in college applications.
It'll help you in college, and
thanks, Karthik.
It's directed towards you guys, because you guys might get that that credit by the time you go into high school, right? So that's what I got about all about Spanish, and a second language that you must take in middle school. Next, I want to talk about my presidential award. So this award was a sizable award. It was only like like stated on the slide, only very few students, like out of like a group of students, like got this award, since they got the, like I told you, you need a principal's honor roll to show that you have 4.0 GPA, all this. I had six of those, so I got all 6 semesters. I got principal honor rolls, which directly translated into this presidential award. And it's pretty nice seeing only like 25 to 30 students just on the stage being congratulated for getting the all 4.0 GPAs, right? So, and yeah, that's all I've got about the presidential award. And also, another thing I want to mention is that in the presidential award, all I did was, if you focus on your work, focus on what you're doing, and focus on what you learn, apply it and everything, and get your homework done and all those things, you automatically qualify for this. All you need is a little bit of dedication. Without, like, every day, if you just spend about an hour just doing stuff and like finish everything you have and all those things, you can achieve this award as well. And yeah, that's all I've got about this. And I also want to talk about the math advancement that is given. This is I don't know about other districts, but for TUSD, how this works is that after 8th grade, so in math, in the pathway for math, if you get into 6th grade honors math, you do all of 6th grade math and half of 7th grade math. And then in 7th grade, you do all of the rest of 7th grade math and all of 8th grade math. And then in 8th grade, you do 9th grade math. So when you do that, you automatically qualify for 10th grade math in 10th grade math in the 9th grade high school math in high school. But if you take this summer program, which is conducted through like a mastery exam, and the summer program is called summer geometry, and in summer geometry you can advance, and you go into a 10th grade math in high school, right? So it's also like, it's a benefit because it'll help you finish like all the math credits you need as by the end of your 11th grade year instead of taking it to your 12th grade year, right? So it'll help you with like your math, and it's for people who like really advanced in math and they know they can accomplish things in math, which is it's the mastery exam, and then you have to dedicate like most of your summer to like doing the classes and attending the Zoom meetings and all this. I personally didn't take it, but it's all up to you if you want to take it and go advanced. I mean, but you must understand that you can only do this if you think that you're really like advanced in math, right? And that you can handle like that. But it's that should not stop you. Like anything, the difficulty should not stop you. It's just if you think you can do it, you do it. Like that's all I got to say here. And now the last transition, it's from middle school to high school, right? So this transition is going to be your biggest transition that like in your high school, in your career, because middle school and high school are totally two different things. Like merging through that is it's not hard, but it takes a little bit of time, right? So first, I want to go on my athletic qualifications. So like I mentioned before, I did track for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and for 5th grade. So 4 years, I did 4 years of track. So now that because of that, I'm now part of the high school track team. And to get into the track team, or any type of sport, there's usually 2 rounds of tryouts. First round is going to be the summer program. So over the summer, when you're in 8th grade, over the summer, you'll get a summer program for your sport. Like if that's swimming, running, cross country, tennis, whatever it is, right? So you're gonna have to do the summer program. And through the summer program, they'll, depending on how you do on the summer program, seeing your capabilities, they'll judge you, right? And then they'll let you go into the tryouts, right? That's like the first part. And then during like the school year, it's gonna be like in the second or third week of school, they'll put the tryouts down. So those tryouts will is like the final step in going into like the sport, right? They'll look at the qualifications, like for track, there's like a certain standard that you must meet to get into the team. So my personal records in my events are for long jump, I jumped 17.3 feet. And for the 100-meter, I did a 12.6 seconds. And for the 400, it's 60 seconds or a minute. And for my 200-meter, I got a 26.5 for my 200-meter. So these standards were, I met the standards of the I passed the standards of the bar they put, and I qualified into the tryouts, which I got into the track team. In the sport, there's 3 teams. There's a freshman team, a junior varsity team, and a varsity team. So the freshman team usually consists of people who like just join track, right? Like in my scenario, it's for people who just join track like the first year, right? They just have the speed. They just have the ability, but they don't have like much experience. Junior varsity is for like people who have like some experience, like 2 to 3 years of experience. And varsity is for like the top performing people with like the most experience, and they're like the highest performers. And varsity is the hardest to get in because it's the most like and you should be like it requires you to be like at the top of your event to get into varsity. So I do not know what team I'm in yet, since the season didn't start yet, because like I mentioned before, the season only starts in January. So thus meaning that I only know where I am at January. And yeah, so that's where it goes. And in your sport, all you need to do is just be the best at your sport. You have to have the qualities, you have to have the sportsmanship, you have to have the sportsmanship as well as like the skill and the ability. If you're able to like have both of those, you'll have both. You'll get into like the track team, right? So yeah, that's my athletic qualifications, right? So now we'll proceed into the AP honors and regular courses, right? So the AP honors and regular, those are the 3 different like levels of courses. Regular is for people who just got in, and honors is slightly harder, and AP is harder than honors. So AP stands for advanced placement. Yeah, that's that. And so usually APs and honors courses, there's a certain limit that can be that the school has for its students, right? You can consult with your counselor or your future high school, talking about how much you can take and all those things. And usually there's a waiver, and that waiver will help you get like 1 more. So like in my case at Beckman, as a freshman, you can only take 2 AP classes. And if you sign the waiver, you can take 3 AP classes. So it's just 1 more. So, right. And the main key idea here is that what you need to be fully fledged, or like you need to be in the understanding that if you're going to take an AP or honors courses in that particular subject, you need to understand that that should be the subject that you're going to be proceeding in the future. Say you're going to go into the engineering field, right? So if you take an honors in math, yes, that's a good choice. But if you're not going to take like honors in like, if you're not going to be like an English major and take like AP literature, which is like a really high level of English, right? It's not like it's going to be hard on you as well as like, but do not take it for my word. Just do whatever you can. Just remember that the same thing in middle school, like the expectations are the same thing in high school, except more higher. Like they expect more, right? Of that, more quantity of that, right? So yeah, and then don't like when you apply for regular courses, just remember that they might the name might sound easy, but sometimes the courses are hard. So just make sure that you know what you're taking in and stuff like that. Like, but like again, don't take it from my word. To do whatever interests you. It's all on you. It's not on anybody else. Like nobody else can dictate what you're gonna do. It's just purely on you, right? So lastly, the last topic I want to talk about today is early college. Early college is a program specific to Beckman High, and it's a collaboration between Beckman High School and Irvine Valley College for students who want to get an associate's degree by the time they graduate high school. So this associate's degree proves that you can get into that you can like cancel like 2 years of college when you get into high school, right? So this program consists like the title suggests. It consists mostly of college courses, and they're mostly like history courses, like history courses and college courses, like study courses and how to manage your time, all those things. Those things will help you the transition. The things that they teach will help you in the transition from high school to college. But not only that, you'll earn some college credits as well. Just like how you earn credits for doing courses in high school, there are certain credits you will earn in college when you do courses, right? So early college will give you those through stuff, and mostly because it's mostly history. You just have to there's gonna be a lot of writing parts, and you have to like write a lot. But other than that, there's not like much difficulty to it, right? But getting in is a little it's an exam. So to get in, you have to do an exam, and that exam consists of you writing 5 essays, right? They're all like psychological questions, like what do you plan on doing in the future? Why do you want to come to early college? Right? So all those questions you just need to like practice and remember what you're gonna write, and you just write it down, right? So if you get those, what the most beneficial thing is that when you go into college, especially like any UC schools such as UCSD, UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC Davis, all those colleges, right? They'll look at this associate's degree, and there's a chance that they might reduce like a certain amount of college time. Yeah, like so, like your bachelor's degree is going to consist of 4 years, but you only might have to take 3 or 2, right? It purely based on the college. Like, for example, if it's like UCLA or UC Berkeley, where it's like a little higher class, there's only a chance that they might only accept like 1 year. They only might reduce 1 year or 1.5 years, right? But if it's like UCSD, UC Davis, right? Yeah, there's a higher chance that they might reduce like 2 years, which is beneficial for you. So because you don't need to spend all 4 years in college, right? You can go into 2 years and then get into like a job or an internship, right, with like a company. So not only that, but IVC, since you passed their exam and got into the early college, you're technically considered an IVC student, which means that if there's a summer program in IVC that they're hosting, like it could be like a math program or a science program or an English program, right? You have the first seat. You have first dibs. You have first, like, what should I say? Like first, call. Like you get to like choose first. Like before the other people get to decide, they'll send you an email first. Do you want to apply for this course? So if you say yes, then you get the seat first before the other person gets it. All right. And it's also like it eliminates all like the fees and things you have to pay for it. Since you're a high school student who's done work and gotten into the early college program, you don't have to like pay like the fees and all those things. Like you just have to sign like a form saying that, okay, I can do this, right? And then you get into the program, and this will help you in like if you want to like advance in math, and if you take a course from IVC and put it into if you put it into Beckman, there's a chance they might like consider like advancing or anything, right? So it's all about like based on things like so. But most important most of all, when you're going, if you plan on going into a college that is not a UC or inside California, this associate's degree that you earn when you finish the early college program, it will make you a competitive candidate or a competitive person compared to the other people who are applying. So say you want to go into a John Hopkins, which is like a famous school for medical stuff, right? You if you show that they're not going to take like 1 year off or 2 years off of your college, right? They're only, what they will look at is, okay, oh, look at this person, oh, he finished half of college by the time he exited high school. Wow, this looks better than this guy who didn't do this and he just took a lot of it classes, right? So it looks better, and it makes you look superior to other people, like when you're like applying for colleges and other stuff. So to wrap it all up, I believe that this session was helpful to you guys, especially for the people who are in 5th grade and in middle school right now. I hope I carved a path for you guys, or given you like a vision of what could possibly could be the possibilities, or your future should be your future motivation for middle school and high school. I hope you guys are very great successors and one day succeed in whatever you guys think you do. And also, I would like to end this session, or like to continue to the Q&A, thanking Saravanan uncle and Anu auntie for giving me this wonderful opportunity to show my experiences and, like I said, guide you guys, or show the path or a vision that is a possibility between you your guys' elementary to your high school, right? So this is like that. And now I would like to go into the Q&A session. Also, Uncle, do you have anything to say, or can we continue with the Q&A session?
This is amazing. It's really inspiring and quite fulfilling academic and sports career that you showcased. It's really amazing, and thanks for compiling all the information. And let's move on to the Q&A.
Hi guys. So all right.
So students and
It's
friends.
be a Q&A session. Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to ask or unmute and ask questions, or
yeah. Or if you want to go to a specific slide, also please ask that. I will please. I am gladly willing to explain what I said before. Like, yeah.
Kavin has a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kavin. Unmute and ask.
Okay. Thanks for the amazing presentation. You spoke really well.
Yeah, thank you.
And how exactly do you manage your time to the intensity of your courses or classes?
So it all comes down to being like manageful to your time. Like you have to use your class time as much as you can, right? Because the classes like elementary school, like each subject, in elementary school, it's only going to be like 20 to 30 minutes, right? Right, but when you go to middle school, it's gonna be like 35 minutes. So it's gonna be more time to do stuff, right?
It's like more time, more classwork, more
projects. Yeah, more class time, more everything. So all you want to do, right? It's as simple as not making school classwork into homework, right? You want to finish all your classwork in class, so that you only have to focus on your homework. That's all it comes down to.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. You're welcome. Is there anybody else who wants to ask a question?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Vijay.
Like, what is the limit for is there any limit to get into the early college?
Yeah, so what they'll expect for as a middle schooler and when you go into the program is for you to be an academic academically circled, right? So what that means is that you need to show them that, okay, I can do this. I can do college courses as well as school courses, right? And they'll also look at, like, obviously they'll look at like the basic things, like what were your grades in middle school? Was he able to manage all his time wisely, right? All those things. But all it comes down to is you being the most excellent student that you can possibly be, and showing that you can through your essays, right, the entrance exam, you should because you have to write, right? So you have to write down that, okay, I no matter what, even if it comes down to time, I know how to manage my time. I know how to be the best student I can be, and I am willing to prove that I can be the best student that I can be, right? That's all it comes down to.
Okay, thank you. What you really said was really good motivation for me, and I think I'm going to use it. And thank you for the prep for the middle school and high school. So thanks, Kavin.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, so I really loved your presentation. It was very informational and motivational. So out of all your extracurricular activities and clubs and everything, I do the same things, but I wanted to know how do you manage a social life along with all the extracurriculars you
do? My social life in middle school wasn't as great as it is now, because since I've joined early college, I've met like all the people that, like, you get people who are like math geniuses, and who are like who are like similar to me, right? So like my social life really started to develop, like starting now, like right now is like my peak social life. Like middle school, I had like somewhat of a social life, right? But not as much as like I have now. And I feel I'm really grateful for my social life that I have now, and I wished I had this before. And
yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, I was wondering because as going to high school, it's a big transition, so I was wondering how you deal with it. Yeah, nice presentation, Kevin.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, thank you, Vishali. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, feel free to unmute and ask students.
Yeah, guys, don't be scared. Just free just open up. Yeah.
Good job, Kavin. Yeah.
Ajay, why don't you ask a question then?
Yeah. You pick your buddies, Kavin.
Yeah. Ajay, come here.
Hey, Kavin, don't scare, man. You talked a lot, okay? No, you talked a lot. Enough to digest, okay? Go a little cool, yeah.
So yeah, if there's any other.
I think that's fine. Yeah. All right.
Kavin,
So
just
any other questions?
From my side, Kavin, is this yearly college program supported by all school or few schools? How about other high school in the TUSD itself?
So like I mentioned before on the slide, it should say, so it's only specific to Beckman High, like, because it's a collaboration between Beckman and
other high school in testing.
Yeah, but other high schools might have like programs from IVC. Like, for example, like they might say that, or they might not have like early college like as a class, but like they might accept, like if you did an IVC course, they might accept it to your
okay. So yearly college program is specific to Beckman, and
yeah, it's like a pure thing just for Beckman. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Kavin, there was a question from Hasini Payala in. So the question is like, how often did you do sports each week, and how do you manage to keep your sports
Well,
when it clash with other priorities?
That's a really good question, and I'd like to. I forgot to mention that, and thanks for reminding me. But now, since I've joined the high school track team, and it's a pretty big commitment, right? So I have all 5 days of my week consists of practices. So on Mondays I have like speed training, like actually like doing my events and practicing, right? And then on Tuesdays I have weight room, so like it's like a gym, and that increases my strength and everything, right? And then I've got on Wednesdays we do endurance, like keeping up, like doing like long distances to keep up my energy, see like control my energy and like.
So you basically split activities between days, so you don't try
it's a
to
5-day thing, yeah. But when I used to do a private club, when I was in private, my classes ran like it was all by the coach. Like he would say, okay, last minute he would say, okay, today we have practice, just join this. He'll say it like an hour or two before, but like sometimes he give it to like last minute. So like usually it's on like the weekdays, weekends, like around there. But sometimes I've had practices on like Thursdays and Wednesdays, since like some of my track meets have been in like Friday.
Okay, cool. So the point here is we need to split the work between different time of the week.
Like I mentioned before, you should the only thing that you should have is homework. If you have schoolwork and homework, it's not going to work out as well, because your class, usually in middle school, your classwork is what's going to be more than your homework, right? It's like in elementary school, in the class they will not do as much, but the homework is like a little, they'll give a little homework, right? But when in middle school, the classwork will be like a lot. They'll give you a lot of classwork, and the homework is not as much as homework, right? So if you've finished all the classwork, the homework should be like no problem. You should be able to do it like easily.
Cool.
Good job, Tanya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Any other?
Yeah, Vijay.
What is the age limit to early college? Like, can you do it like super early, or can you do it like?
No. It's not like the advancement courses like for math and science, where you can do it in like 8th grade and get in, right? This program you can only apply as a 9th grader, right? Because since it's a 4-year commitment, you can't apply in like 10th grade. You can't apply in 11th or 12th. You have to apply only in 9th grade. If you don't get it in 9th, you can't get it in 10th.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's like a one hit, right? So yeah.
Okay.
What is like the pathway for like after you go into high school sports, how do you become a professional?
So who asked that question?
Mahesh.
Oh, Mahesh. Okay. So like I mentioned before, my personal interest started in 5th grade, right? The summer of 5th grade, right? But when I started really getting professional is after 7th grade, right? Because before that,
Kavin, he asked about how to become a professional. Now we are doing something. How you become a professional?
How to become a professional?
Yeah. What is the pathway or the future?
So,
what is your plan?
Sorry for misunderstanding your question, but becoming a professional, it comes from it doesn't come from like advancing. It comes from like your abilities. So like when you perform better in meets, right? When you perform like better and better, you get recognized by coaches and people who coach teams, right? That's how I got into like Rise and Fly, right? So like when I performed, I kept performing, right? After they seeing my effort and my capabilities, they asked me, okay, do you want to join our team? And it was all a process and everything, right? So it's all about
the professional organization or the coaches will reach out to us.
Yes.
If we perform
they'll
at that
see
level.
They will see your abilities. They will see how you're performing.
Cool.
But that doesn't mean that you should do it just to get it in, right? It means you have to do your best. You do whatever you have to do. and then you get the result for what you play. That's all it is. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, are there any other questions you guys can?
Thank you,
think of?
Mahesh.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I don't see any other questions coming through. All right. Right, this is amazing, Kavin. So to conclude the session, to do a vote of thanks, Murugan Venkatesan has come forward to express his views on this session, and how he sees this session as high school senior. He's from Diamond Bar High, and I would like to call upon Murugan Venkatesan to do a vote of thanks for the session, and especially how he sees this session is important, right? Like when people at very high level in the school, like in high school senior, they see how this is coming through when we have mixed students from upper level of elementary, and then middle school, and then intermediate, and then this high school. So that would be interesting. Thank you, Kevin. I would like to pass it to Murugan V.
Right. Thank you to everyone for coming here, and thanks to Kavin taking his time to present his presentation. So yeah, this presentation will help out future students, and that are going to be entering high school. As you know, I'm a high school senior, so it's kind of a bit too late for me. So, but yeah, thanks for telling us the balance between academics and sports, and in general, anything, not just sports. Like it could be like, in performing arts, or maybe just doing fine arts or video games. It's important to balance all that. So because I know how it feels like, because I did that for the last 3 years, since from 2018 to until next year. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Murugan V. It's really an interesting view because as I said earlier, normally the students take either one of the side, like either go into sports or academics. I think it's the point. It's a very important point where we need to learn the art of balancing between this. And I was expecting, I've seen people walking us through their success journey. And Kavin, you took us for a run in your track with the entire team here. That's really amazing, and it's good. And we really enjoyed, running with you for the last 45 minutes. And it's interesting. Every detail that you mentioned, it's useful, and you touched upon so many things. It's really interesting. Thank you. Thanks for a great session. And
it's my pleasure. It's something. It's my giving back now. It's like you mentioned before. The quote: "The success comes from inspiring others as well as inspiring yourself." So.
Thank you so much on behalf of SoCal Tamil Youth Leadership and Entrepreneurship Team. We wish you good luck, and we wish to see you as greater heights in national level, and you have the Olympics waiting for you. So wish you good luck and keep up the good work. Thanks for a great session. Thanks everyone for joining. I'll stop recording and close the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karthik.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.